Thanks for staying with us. We have a few comments on social media. I have from Mrs. Tijani. She says, Auntie Morel, we have not heard from the parents. This child is clearly privileged to have had access to engage a lawyer, which is what Nima was saying. The use of the word abandon is rather strong. Going back to, he felt emotionally abandoned which I think...
Yes, so we cannot say the use of abandon is strong. That's the child expressing how he feels. Leave the fact that whether he was joining gang or not, he just expressed that he felt emotionally abandoned by his parents. I want to point out something. You can have 3 children and you assume in your head that I'm giving them the same training. I'm giving them the same education. But you are relating to the children how they present to you. So I have 3 children, and trust me, if 3 of them sit down to analyze mommy, they will not say the same things because I am presenting how they are presenting. And so one mother can be 2 different people or 3 different people to the 3 different children. There are instances where you have raised these kids with everything you think that you have, but you have not observed how their emotional capacity can take them. So you give one blanket rule in the house. You're not paying attention. Some will take that rule because his mommy that said it, I will do it. Another person will take that rule because his mommy said, why will I do it? And you feel because I have given that instruction, that is how it should be. We need to observe each child comes with their own templates and their own blueprints. We need to observe them one after the other. The way you present to your first child is not, you don't know, it's subconsciously. It's not the way you're presenting to the second child. It's not the way you're presenting to the third child. In a few years, when they sit back and say, but mommy was doing this to me, and mommy was doing that to me, you're not shocked.
You see, let me give you an example.
You
see, on Sunday, it's Sunday, we're going to church. And I told my children know, Sunday morning, especially the first Sunday of the month, we dress, it's Thanksgiving Sunday, wear your trad. That's the standard. So all my kids, right, wore the right thing. But one wore tracksuits, sweats, and a skirt and sneakers. And I'm like, excuse me, it's first Sunday. As he said, where in the Bible does it say that I have to wear trad? I said, there's nowhere in the Bible, but the RCCT doctrine that we follow says that you must dress a certain way on Sundays. And the person is there arguing with me. Like, you don't get to argue. Go and change. Now, the person was taking forever to change. After a while, I just got really irritated. I said, just that's your tracksuit. Enter the car, go in. Because all of us were nicely dressed for Sunday, except this one child.
You just say money.
so you said that we shouldn't use the blanket rule. There's a rule in the house. You are wearing shorts. So when I say that because this child is different, you are allowed to wear whatever you want to wear to church.
I'm not saying don't make a blanket rule. I'm saying observe the patterns that work for the children per time. So you have made a blanket rule, no track, you call them, for church. And you know that there's this child, just wear native, Abby. And you know that there's this child that's particularly attached to that tracksuit. It's not that it will not end at that blanket rule. You will call that child and say, this and this and these are the reasons why you should not wear so, and so. No, listen. We are raising, see.
Buy better.
The way we raise...
Have a collar.
I have a collar. Let me drink water. Jeremy, let me take Jeremy. Jeremy, you're live. Jeremy, you there?
Yes.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning. Please don't listen to the TV. Listen to me directly. The TV is delayed.
Okay. All right. So I've been following this thing now, and I think that we are focusing on the parent side too much. Well, the parents, in a way, they are actually not right sending the child to Nigeria as a form of punishment. I totally disagree with that. In fact, to me, I feel that is wickedness. I'm not giving birth yet, but if I give birth to my child, I can't choose my child. That kind of thing. You understand? So, but again, let's look at this boy's part. A 13-year-old boy. Can you guys realize how woke this generation is? For a 13-year-old boy to realize that he can actually sue, and not just suing anybody, he's suing his parents, and he has an access to a lawyer. I don't know. My own view is that, don't you guys think that we have a problem with how woke this generation can be?
It's a very
That's just where my issue is. There's a problem with how woke
Thank you, Jeremy. So in your mind, it's about wokeness, but in other climes, it's normal for a 2-3-year-old child in kindergarten to be told 911. They're trained that way. It's been programmed to know that you know where to call. There's going to be a toll-free line you can call. You can go online, have a couple. Anywhere you are. Anywhere you are, you can go online, you can go to a website, you can check it, you can find a way. So it's not really about being woke, it's about just having the information that you have, you can get help somewhere.
So let me finish my thoughts small,
Right.
so that I don't shout. They're already saying I'm shouting. My voice is just naturally loud. When I was giving an example with what you said, that you gave that rule and then you moved on and this particular child decided to, I will wear this. Now, there are certain ways you can look at it. There are children that are thinkers and they will push your boundaries because they do not just take your first explanation or your first order. They want to know why. Where was it written in the Bible that I should wear so and so? And it's not wrong for that child to question, but it's just that in Africa, we don't allow our children question us. I'm the mother, I'm the father, my law have said it, and that is how it is. But children of these days are growing bold enough to say, but what's your reason? That's why I'm saying you understand. You have 4 or 5 of the children, you make that blanket rule, but there's this particular one that will question or he will not do it. You call that one separately. And you give this and this and this are the reasons why I, your mommy, because I know better, have said that you should not wear so and so and so. And there's also a consequence for those who choose to disobey me. You put it there. Then when they do that, you follow up on the consequence. The thing about it is, most of the time, because of the nature of our jobs and the fact that everybody's looking for money, we are not involved with having open communication with our children from very early. We get to a point when they are now teenagers that we start to struggle and start looking for who will help me talk to this child when you have missed some vital parts of, raising the child from that conversation very, very early. So for you to get to a point where you join a gang, there's something fundamentally missing. That child is looking for validation outside. That child is looking for strength, a form of, what's it called? A form of belonging to the child that they're already missing from the home. So we don't address that.
I'll come to you. But it's important to also remember I was talking about jackpot parents. You're looking for greener pastures. You're going to be stressed. You're going to be looking for double jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs. Yes. You will not have that attention.
Your first job is your children.
No. But see, living in a new country, you need to do 2, 3. Listen, now exactly. You've just moved with your family. So that's the reality of the situation.
Our schedule even here is so demanding. Sometimes we have to make up.
True.
One thing you must do, it's a sign of intelligence to have a child who queries.
Yes, true.
And if you have such a child, you must do something else. Not be every child you explain and put position down. You toast some. You befriend some. If you have 10, there's the one where you go, they call my love. There's the one that you know that if I tell them rule, they will follow. And you must apply each child's nature. Yes. So between a certain age and a certain age, imagine that you made that dress, for instance, and you made a different dress, not the one that they already have, and say, this dress, when I made it, I had you in mind. Wear it. And the child will say, you kill for Sunday. You will blast for Sunday, and you leave it there. You will see your child for Sunday. You want to check mirror and see how you will look. There are different ways to parent children. But if you say you are doing rule, those are our fathers, the ones that did military strategy. How many children did they
come out well? Exactly.
Some will just say, I don't want to Allah, let me just obey this man till I get out of the house.
Before.
Some will follow it. Okay, I just like my daddy like that. Some will total full rebellion. Why will you be telling me which color to wear? And I know children. My children, for instance, the 2 of them, one follows the rule. The other one looks at himself in the mirror. Because he just watched cartoon now, somebody wears snow boots. He wears snow boots, follow me yesterday, for inside that terrible song. Terrible song. You see that their mind is also working. Appreciate it and parent as necessary.
Parenting is a lot of work. It's the reason I do not understand how people tend to have so many children and they still want to have more. Or you have 2 children and you want to have more. Like somebody was saying that he has 2 children. I was like, I still want more. I'm like, you still want more? Do you understand the work that you would need to do?
A lot.
Parenting is a lot of work, and it is worse off when you are in the diaspora. So many people jackpotting, they have no idea the problems that they would face if they are not extremely intentional. With a lot of prayers and a lot of intentional work, like you are studying, as you are studying to make money, you are studying to parent. The same energy, because the parents say, the child you did not train is the one that will sell the things you've gathered with the time you use to train yourself. So you are training yourself in your business, in your career, so that you are successful. Then you work so hard that the children now sell everything. Because I know people that have 11 children. Not one of them, all of them are waiting for daddy to die. All of them. And the man knows. Like, the man knows.
Yes, sir.
3 of his children are living in his house. They've come back to live in his house. 11. You're now wondering, what did you miss? Oh, daddy was working. Mommy was working. Everybody was working. So we need to realize that raising our children is work. They did not beg you to come to this world. Raise your children. It's like you want to cook fried rice and you want the fried rice to be good. If you really want good fried rice, you cannot put the liver, the sweet corn, the green beans, the carrots at the same time. Everything has different timing and how you will cook it, the temperature with you cook it, how you will fry, how you will steam. That's the way each child is. When you want the fried rice to turn out well, you want your children to turn out well, you must be able to understand this my child is carrots. I can't put this child early. This one is liver. There's a way I will cook it. You need that effort because every child requires that unique thought and attention. It is not easy. I'm telling you, I am in school.
Okay, let me take this call from Anu from Ikorodu. I'm sorry I lost that call. So going
Don't
back,
blame the child, just that one. The class scholar was saying that we're all blaming the parents. You can't blame the child. Every child came plain without
blame
anything.
child.
No, you blame adults. You blame adults.
Because it's still a child.
I cannot at this point say my mom is to blame for what I am. I can't at this point say my dad is to blame. I'm an adult. As long as the person is a child, it's in under the responsibility is the parents because you got a child as a baby. Nothing was in that child.
Are you saying?
It is important that I also mention that families in diaspora build community around yourself. You can't do it alone. You have gone to Canada, you think you will raise those 3 boys by yourself. You are going to suffer. You will suffer yourself and you might not do a good job raising them. You need to have family, friends, people around you that you will say, I will do for you what you will do for me. Because on your own, you will fail at this parenting.
but let's go back to this child issue because we're saying woke, but the average child today, regardless of which part of the world you're born, they have a bit of awareness. So how we are raising these children is different. So what this child did, there's a possibility where a child born in Nigeria is likely to do the same thing. Depending on the kind of school. Imagine if you go to...
This one got.
Well, we don't know that. For example. We don't know. No, it's possible. Yeah, you're right. There's a very strong possibility there was. And there's also a possibility that the child took that initiative themselves. A 14-year-old child who is...
Children from 8, 6, 7 must be accountable for certain actions.
Yes.
They take. Of course. So when you say don't blame the child, the parent, are you saying we follow our kids everywhere? See the one I'm describing now. You had an assignment, and I called you several times to see if you were reviewing, and you were not reviewing.
Let me take Pelumi.
You were calling him to see if we did. Why didn't you carry him? Sit down and do your work.
Exactly.
I have a caller. Sorry. Good morning, Pelumi. You're live.
All right. I would like to correct the last caller. It's very wrong for you to send your children to Nigeria, but I think the motive for sending those children matters. If you are sending your children down to Nigeria to learn cultural values, there's nothing wrong with that. Last month, one of a student in a particular private university in Nigeria committed suicide because his parents, brought him from wherever they were. I think he brought him to Nigeria to study. He was the only child they brought to Nigeria to study. His siblings and other people, relatives, were abroad. And then we brought him down to Nigeria to study. So I think the problem they are also neglecting is abandonment. Remember the child also talked about abandonment. When you sent this boy down to Nigeria, did you take time to always settle for this boy? Did you take time to always intentionally let him know why you sent him down to Nigeria? Did you hand him over to trusted people? Did you hand him over to trusted relatives, trusted teachers, trusted house masters? Did you always inform them about the main reason why you brought them?
Thank you very much, Pelumi. You see, I always say that in this our woke generation, we label things, we give them names. Because back then, we didn't label it abandonment. They sent you to Nigeria, I went to school with people where there was even a white girl, Rachel, was in my school. Her parents were living, they eventually went back to UK or something. But she was left in Nigeria with guardians. It wasn't abandonment then. It was just my parents.
Don't say that
at
the time.
Now we have labeled abandonment.
Hold on. Okay, finish.
The point is that we have labeled, we've now called it something. It was not, because the intention was not, make it more grievous.
Horrible.
The objection was not to abandon. Your objective was to expose you to a different culture, a different way of life, a different way of discipline, which is different from where we know. So now we have labeled it, we abandoned you. And because of that...
It does not mean that that vocabulary appropriately explains your parents.
Exactly.
Abandonment.
Intention. But the action and the interpretation of the action, who is interpreting? Who is experiencing what you have done would interpret it as they see fit. We say these things do not affect us, Abi. We have a lot of people who have abandonment issues that have transferred into relationships today, into marriages today. They have anxious attachment style, they have avoidant attachment style, all these things.
Humans are not perfect.
Listen now,
Humans are not perfect.
Listen now.
All these English meetings packing and I've not heard it before.
All
Just
this
hearing it.
It's coaches. They come up with all these terms. All these coaches come up with all these terms. Things that we grew up, we had no clue. You now label it abandonment. You label it emotional neglect. They label it
imagine the ones that don't even have English now. If they were to read some of this textbook, imagine the English.
Back in the day, when people were dying of malaria, that we didn't have a label for malaria, we said it was Ogbanje. Yes. We said it was Abiku. We always find a way to. Now, as we evolved, listen now. Yes, as we evolved, we got the appropriate names for each. It doesn't mean those things were not happening before, just we didn't have the label for it. We found a way around it. Does not mean it did not affect a lot of us in adulthood. So this child is communicating what the child is feeling. What I just see is they would find a way to have a compromise and have a communication or have a conversation for the child to understand why they did what they did, and then they will make amends on how to follow up on the child. You don't just drop the child and then move on to your life and feel that the other family members or the people will sort him out. This is a child who you have raised abroad. They have different expectations. I always say what our parents got away with, the way they raised us anyhow, we will not get away with it if we try it with our children. Because the times are changing. Everybody just needs to be accountable for the one that you do.
Somehow, the Indian child raised in the same America, it is the Indian child, they have certain values, certain communities. They're able to build that community around them. So they don't let the wokeness of the society infiltrate into how they're raising their children.
We have a culture that holds now. We don't.
There are certain things our parents did. The reality and understanding of it is just coming on us. I don't know if you've experienced that. So we're assuming, jump. You see, you need to jump because you need to catch balloon. How many times did our parents take decisions and expected the delay in understanding to make us mature?
They beat us into understanding.
No, not all the time.
Now
not all the time. Not all our lives. I remember that this leg, the way they speak so, it was because vacuum of interpretation was left for a lot of things. And my father would say that if you are wise, you will know what I said. And I will have to be interpreting it. And in getting the understanding, each step of delay was maturity. Forced on you.
I have to go on a break.
So who say we must write textbook for our child to code it and understand us each time?
We love to make... anyway, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with this. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.